a check.
Yes, sir.
Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank y'all for coming this afternoon. I don't think this is going to be a very long conference, but I just wanted to give you some answers to some questions that I've been seeing out. And, you know, I think y'all know by now is ongoing investigations on certain things and certain information that we can't put out or shouldn't put out, and that's some of the things that happened in this case. But what I wanted to do was to make sure that you were informed, that the public was informed, and definitely I wanted to make sure that the family was informed. And that's why this late press conference, because I contacted the family and they were at work, but they made arrangements to speak with me just a little bit ago. So I've had a conversation with them, and now I want to give you, what I want to give you today is simply a timeline on when this missing person started, some of the things that we've done here at the Sheriff's Office through our investigation. And I said a brief timeline. I want to tell you that it's going to be brief. Dan, if you come over. Right here, what I want to start out, on the 17th of August, 2023, is when when the last time Melissa was seen by family or friends. We received a call on the 18th, approximately 10:33 a.m. From my reports, if mine serves me correctly, our deputies arrived about 15 minutes later after receiving the call. Also on the 18th, on the same day, we deployed our K-9 unit. We deployed drones, emergency services, to canvass the area. We had the patrol units and CID. That was the same day that she was reported missing. Also, we entered Melissa, into the NCIC and contacted our local media. On the same day, Investigator Howell made contact with Ms. Brown, the daughter of Melissa, in reference to her being missing. The complainant was someone else that called her in missing. It wasn't a daughter. On the 19th, the family itself deployed a search unit, a search party to go out, and they searched areas around the home also with no avail. And I think from my understanding, it was some team out of Sumter, South Carolina, I believe, I'm not sure. On the 22nd, the complainant, supposedly someone spotted sighting of Melissa in the Holly Hill area. That was checked out. We sent units in the area. Lieutenant Day headed up that point of contact, and with no avail on that sighting. On the 23rd of August, Investigator Howell also responded to a local business in Holly Hill to speak with some people in reference to a sighting of Melissa that's supposed to have been, I think, around 3:30 that morning. Supposedly someone saw her passing the store that morning. Investigator Howell went out himself and checked that out. The information that we got didn't add up or led to anything. CID continued to work, following up any leads that we had, and we had calls from different people from the area saying that they were sightings of Melissa. We also had a call in the Charleston area. It was supposedly someone said that Melissa could have been at a homeless shelter. We checked that out. Also, that was not the case at that time. So we continuously was working the Holly Hill, Latson, Charleston area, and also we were checking all abandoned houses in the area that we could locate. After this, the sightings or calls stopped coming in after about 30 days. So then we continuously, with Deputy Howell at the lead, he was also going around still talking to people in reference to if anyone had any information that would lead to us finding Melissa or anything that may have happened. The rest of the timeline here, you can see. In fact, I'll give you a copy of this, so you don't have to take pictures of all this or whatever. I'll give you a copy of this for yourself. One of the things that I want to reach out and say is that I think one of the questions that came up, because we went out on the day of the discovery was on the 4th. Went out on the 4th. We again went out with, at that time we took cadaver dogs out in that area, at the Four Winds Road area in Holly Hill. And at this time is when we located some human remains. We first did our investigation. We worked our crime scene team worked the area. We, at some point right after this, contacted the family to let them know that we found some remains. Not saying that this was Melissa, but we wanted them to know that we found some remains in the area just before anybody else could tell them something totally different, and they understood. At that time, after we completed our investigation or doing that scene, the coroner's office, who was responsible for collecting the remains, came out and they collected the remains. And the next day, on the 5th, they were taken to Columbia, which our investigator met them up at Columbia to get some evidence from, so that we can run DNA and different things from what was collected. I think the family went back out on the 5th, and let me say this, the family went back out, and this is one of the things why I'm always sensitive about certain things, because there's certain things that I always try to be, let the family know and the media, let them know what's going on. But there's certain things that I don't think that it's proper or right that a family see certain things, and I think in this case they discovered some remains. And let me, how those remains was left out there, I can't answer that today. I can't answer that. I can tell you this from looking at the scene itself, looking around the area. When our deputies went out, I know for a fact that they went out, and that area was a kind of a large area where we were searching. The weather, and that time in August, it was growed up, but at this point, the deputies went out and they bought rakes themselves and raked that area, looking for anything that we could find. I know that we found most of, and I think the coroner probably told you most of that body remains there, but I think also within that there were probably some different bones of maybe some animals or something else. So this is why sometimes we just kind of have to hold certain things back and not try to put out there what we don't know. But like I said, the coroner's office, they came out and helped collect. They collected the the remains, and they were taken to Columbia to Richland County. My investigators met them up there. Also, the family, I think, went back out on the 10th. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the coroner's office or anybody else, but on the 6th, there were a heavy downpour of rain in the Holly Hill area. So I'm not sure if that was the cause or why some other remains was right there on the surface at that time when they saw it. My only concern was when I saw it was felt for the family. That's what I felt, for the family. So again, like I said, I just spoke with the family, had a good conversation with them. But I have to be frank, there was also today, and you probably want to know why I'm all over the place, because today, before coming into this press conference and talking to the family, I found out, and I've got a call in right now to the coroner's office, but after talking to the family, they informed me that they were informed by the coroner's office that this actually came back to be Melissa. So, like I said, officially, we're still waiting on word, but that's what the family is telling me they got from the coroner's office. If that's the case, I gave the family my condolences and tell them that we will continue to pray for them, and that this investigation, even though we were working it as a missing person, I will tell you here now that this investigation all the time was going in two different directions. And at this point, I'm really proud to say that these investigators have done a pretty good job at this time. If that is, in fact, Melissa, our job right now is to find out the manner of death, and if it was some foul play, then you can be assured that we'll find out, and we will have somebody in custody if there was some foul play. So at this point, I'll try to take a few questions if you have any.
Do you have any reason to suspect that there is foul play at this point, Sheriff?
At this point, that's a tough question at this point. Right now, where the body, where the remains were, if that was Melissa, where the remains were found, that's a question that we have. But here again, I will tell you this, and I think you would probably see it in the timeline. We have already interviewed some people. We've already, we have in our custody, or at this point, I think we took them to SLED or some other FBI, wherever. We have some phones, and we have DVR that we are going through at this point, and that's been ever since December, back in December. So like I said, we wasn't just looking at this as, we were looking at it as what if. And so.
Wait, did you mean to say you have someone in custody?
No. We have, did I say that? No, I said we have some phones and DVR we have in possession, and they are being analyzed at this time to get the contents off of it. So this came from a person that we interviewed.
Do you have someone that you would consider to be a person of interest or a suspect at this point?
Not a suspect. Person of interest, not a suspect, because we don't know what happened, but we didn't want to get behind in an investigation if we have somebody that we could go talk to. And we talked to him, we had enough reason to think that we need to get this phone and we need to get this DVR and analyze it. So you can call it a person of interest, a suspect. I wouldn't call it a suspect because we don't have anything to say he's a suspect on now, but I didn't want to get behind, and I didn't want to say that I should have got this in the past, look back, and I can't look back and be a Sunday quarterback on a Monday morning for a Sunday game.
Right, so I know you said that you just spoke with the family in the last hour here.
Right.
Obviously, we've spoken to them several times over the last few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and, they've been voicing their concern and
Right.
their frustration.
Right.
What is your message to them
Well,
just about the way that this investigation has played out?
Right. Well, I just told the family, and I don't, one thing we have to understand is that this is a family that's looking for a sister and a mother. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't let that on social media or in the media. I didn't let that push me to do anything that I wasn't going to do regardless, because my main thing is not to, I'm not going to try a case in the media, and I'm not going to do an investigation in the media. My thing is to make sure that all the evidence or information, let's say information that we get, that I get, that it's good information where I can at least go to the family. The family have a right to be, I would be upset. I would be angry with somebody. So I don't hold anything against the family. Like I said, I just spoke with the sister and the two daughters, and we had a pleasant conversation. I just wish that I had the information that they had given me before I called this press conference, to be honest with you. Because
What do you mean by that?
because they gave me information that apparently someone from the coroner's office called them and gave them. Don't you think that's a kind of a breakdown in communication as far as, well, you probably wouldn't say it, but I say that the family.
You think there's a breakdown in communication between you and the coroner's office?
Well, not think it has to be, because the family told me information that I was going to get up here on the press conference and give y'all, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's just, here again, it's a lot of moving parts in this. I'm not blaming anybody. My thing is, I really appreciate the family for, even though that, there were some things I appreciate them for the patience that they're having, because a lot of people would be way more outraged than they were. So I appreciate them. And I know what they kind of can feel what they're going through. As far as the coroner's office and the sheriff's office, that's something that, we'll talk about afterwards and find out, maybe someone in my office that, and I hope not, knew about it. But, I'm just going on what I was told just a minute ago by the family. So here again.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Sheriff. So the remains, how close were they found to where Ms. Aguilar was living? And what prompted the sheriff's office to take cadaver dogs out there on the 2nd?
Well, she was missing back in August. We took the call August, last time seen August the 17th. So now we're talking about months. We'd already had meetings in reference to different times that we will go back out and do certain things. At this time, this was some months later, so we felt that, here again, it's just like I just told you, what we were doing were looking at it from all different angles. So at this point, I thought it was in our best interest to take the cadaver dogs out, because it's been months. It's been months now. So, and like I said, we went out and these guys found the remains. Somewhere doing that. Some was missed, but here again, the environment and the weather and everything out there, it could have played a part. Animals could have played a part in what was there. My only thing with that is I just hate that the family found it, because that's something that they don't they didn't need it to see. That was my only regret in that. But here again, the collection of the remains, it was done. The family went back out, we went back out, and we're still moving. And now, if this is the case, we're moving in, I won't say another direction, we're moving in, because we were moving in a direction anyway. We were moving in two different directions. That's what makes it so difficult.
What do you mean by the second direction?
Because if this is Melissa, that was actually Melissa, then we're looking at whether the manner of death. And then the manner of death, if it shows something that some foul play, then we're in a totally different direction.
How far from Ms. Aguilar's residence were these remains found? Was it off of Four Wind Road where she was living?
Yeah, it was a distance from the house, but it was off of Four Winds Road in a wooded area. Right.
I understand that you're saying that the remains being left is the responsibility of the coroner, but is that something that?
No, I'm not saying it was the responsibility of the coroner. I'm saying the coroner collected the remains that were there.
So whose responsibility was it?
Well, I'll let you take that from what I said. The coroner collected the remains that were there.
And is that something that you've ever seen before? It struck a lot of people as unusual.
Right.
to
Oh, it
have
struck
that
me as
experience.
unusual. You know, it's just that, just in the case of let's say a dead body, the coroner comes and they pronounce, and then they collect and remove. It's the same thing.
So did you said your office attempted to have a conversation with the coroner before this press conference? And just
No.
get in touch with the coroner?
No, I said that the family had a conversation with the coroner. No, I didn't have a conversation with the coroner. I said that we, walking in here is when I had someone to call to try and find out, get some information. No, I didn't have a conversation with them.
Why didn't you attempt to reach out to them before doing the press conference?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
I just, I wanted to come in here and give y'all, I already spoke with the family. So, you know, if it's, and if it is, it's a little bit more to the press conference than that. So I wanted to have my information intact. I didn't want to come here and tell you what the coroner said, and I don't have any other information on that.
So I had a very specific question as it relates to the timeline. So when you're talking about, the sheriff's office, y'all said to me that one of the reasons why we had this release go out right before Christmas was because of an unconfirmed possible sighting of Miss Aguilar. So it says earlier up there in August that there was another possible sighting by the complainant, which would be the ex-boyfriend. Why was there not a public release again in August? I think there was some date like August 23rd or whatever near a gas station. Why was another release not sent out at that time? I'm just wondering what went into those decisions as to when to release it and why.
Well,
as far as
I'm
the
not.
mass release.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the dates that you're talking about, so I really can't. I'm not
So if
going.
you just go up on the.
I'm not going to try to answer that as far as why we didn't send out.
So August 22nd, report from the complainant stated Melissa was spotted at a gas station. So I guess I'm just wondering why a release wasn't sent out then.
Well, like I told you, we checked out these, the calls, the possible sightings. Lieutenant went out, investigators went out, deputies went out, and there was not anything that came from that. So we knew that the local paper or local media had already put it out. So that's why,
Was there a reason why you didn't do a wider release? Because I know it was sent to the T&D.
Yeah. Well, at that point, like I said, she was a missing person in Orangeburg County in Holly Hill. So the T&D covers more than 1,100 square miles. So not really. We just put it out. We're pretty sure that they could get out the information that we want out at the time.
But not
Thank
sending
you
it
so
to
very
Yeah.
much
the
for
news.
your time. If you need, Ms. Gilmore will have the additional information that you need as far as the timelines are concerned. But thank you so much for the information, for coming out and being a part of this. And again, we offer our condolences to the family. Thank you.
Sure, whoever's seeking new information, they'll get it checked out.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.